Hello. Welcome to a crash course on Java Part 6. This course has been created by Jaysmito Mukherjee, and the voice is of Microsoft David Desktop English, United States. As already mentioned in the previous video, in this video we are going to learn about tokens of Java. So, before starting I would like to mention this is a really long video, so please stay until the end for getting all things properly. If you feel it is becoming too much for you and you feel that you can take no more, please take a break and then continue. Please subscribe to the channel for more free courses like this, and like and share this video as sharing knowledge is great. So, today we are going to learn about Java tokens. By the way, one important thing before we proceed: if you feel that this course is good and you would like to check out other parts of this course, or if you haven't seen the previous part about Java character set, please click the link in the top right corner to check the contents of the course. Now to start with, what are tokens? So, tokens are the smallest individual unit in a program. They are made up of the characters of Java character set, that is Unicode. The tokens are the ones which make up a Java program. Now in Java there are a total of 6 types of tokens. We have white space, keywords, identifiers, punctuators, literals, and operators. So, first on the list we have white space. What do you mean by white space? White space are the characters which separate two Java tokens from one another. There is a total of 5 white space characters. Space, the horizontal tab, form feed, carriage return, line feed. Now on hearing two types of white spaces you might find some no terms like space and tab, but there are terms like carriage return, form feed, and line feed which you might have not even heard of. So let's discuss them in detail. First, we have space. It is the normal space which we get from pressing the space bar. Then we have horizontal tab. It is a combination of 7 spaces. You may also find it on the left side of your keyboard. It appears as the big brother of normal space, but now you get to know its precise definition, that is combination of 7 spaces. Then we have form feed. This is a little complex. It is a character that, when encountered, it causes the printer to automatically advance one full page or the start of the next page. This is used to clear the screen. Then we have carriage return. It means to return to the beginning of the current line without advancing downward. Lastly we have line feed. This appears to be unknown, but I am sure that you already know it by another name. Comment below if you already knew this. So, line feed means to advance downward to the next line. However, it has been renamed to new line. In a program it is used to go to the next line. In short, it is obtained by pressing the Enter key. Now here is an interesting thing about white space in Java. Though we have got 5 different types of white space, but Java treats all the 5 white space as same. So, whether we give 1 line feed or 100 line feeds between 2 lines in Java, the Java compiler treats both as the same thing. But remember one thing, that if you give less than the required amount of white space, then it may cause some errors. Now, after studying so much about white space, you must be curious to know what does this white space does, or what is its use. So, the main use of white space is just to separate 2 tokens from one another. White space of different types are used to give proper indentation to the program so that a program is more readable. Though most IDE do the job of indenting the program automatically, but it can be done manually too. If you don't know what is an IDE, then you must see the video on Java IDE and their features, clicking the link on the top right corner. So, we have come to the end of white space. Now we have keywords. Keywords are the special words or reserved words which have some special meaning to the Java compiler. They cannot be used for any purpose other than what it is specifically meant for. Now a very important thing. Java is a case-sensitive programming language. So, the capital letters or uppercase letters are different from the small letters or lowercase letters. So, according to that, capital A and small a are different, and hello with a capital H and hello with a small h are different, so as all the keywords are in lowercase, so we must exactly use the same. Here is a list of all keywords in Java: abstract, assert, boolean, break, byte, case, catch, char, class, const, continue, default to, double, else, enum, extends, false, final, finally, float, for, goto, if, implements, import, instance of, int, interface, long, native, new, null, package, private, protected, public, return, short, static, strict, super, switch, synchronized, this, throw, throws, transient, true, try, void, volatile, while. Now there is an important thing to note down. Though you may find that the const keyword and the goto keyword present in the list of Java keywords, but it is very important to know that there is no actual use of those words while writing a Java program currently. Please note that it may happen that when you are watching this video in future you might find the const and goto keywords being used. But that's future. So, you may ask, why is there no use of these keywords? The answer is that the developers of Java want to use these two words as keywords in some future version of Java. So, Java programmers now cannot use those words for naming purposes, so that when those words are officially introduced as keywords, the older programs do not become invalid. That's all with keywords. Now, we have identifiers. Identifiers are the named parts or components of a program. The different parts which are named are variables, classes, objects, functions, packages, interfaces, threads, etc. These are named by the programmer. Now don't think too much about variables, classes, objects, functions, packages, interfaces, threads. You will learn about all of these in the upcoming videos. But for now just know that they are the named parts. Please note that, here to case sensitivity plays a part. So, name with a capital N and name with a small n are different. Now for giving a name to an identifier you must follow some rules. First, an identifier can have any alphabet, both capital and small, that is ASCII 65 to 90, capital letters A to Z, and ASCII 97 to 122, small letters A to Z, digits, 0 to 9, that means ASCII 48 to 57, underscore, and lastly $sign. Then, an identifier must not begin with a digit or any special character. Then, an identifier must not have any special character other than $sign and underscore. Then, an identifier cannot have any space or any kind of white space in it. Then, it must not be a keyword, as keywords have some special meaning. Then, it can be of any length. Lastly, each identifier name must be unique, that is, no two identifiers can have the same name. Now naming identifiers by following the rules might be a little confusing, but I recommend you to go to this link, and there you get to play a type of quiz about naming rules. This practice will make you perfect in naming identifiers and you will never do any mistake. And you will have a lot of fun in playing the keys full of graphics and animations. It will give you an accuracy percentage every time you play it. And it is recommended you play until to get an accuracy rate of more than 90%. If you do a mistake, it will explain you thoroughly what was your mistake so you can correct yourself easily throughout the beautiful animations. It's totally free and safe. So please do it. It has thousands of questions. Now besides rules there are a few naming conventions too. First, names of methods and variables should begin with lowercase letters, small letters. Then, class name should begin with a capital letter. Then, if an identifier name has more than one word, then the first letter of each word should be a capital letter. Then, constant value variables like pi, etc. must be completely in capital letters. Then, names should be short and relating to a function or usage. Though Java has no restrictions on the maximum length of a variable name, but larger names are difficult to remember and are impractical. Now, similar to the naming rules exercise, there is a quiz for naming conventions too. Please attempt it too. There you can find highly explained examples. Both the links are in description. Here is an important note. The difference between naming conventions and naming rules is that naming rules must be followed, whereas naming conventions should be followed. If you do not follow naming conventions, then it is not an error, but if you break any of the naming rules, it causes a syntax error. You will learn what is a syntax error later, but for now know that it is just a simple error. That's all about identifiers. Now, we have punctuators. Punctuators/separators are the special symbols used to separate statements, and the elements of a program or mark blocks or parts of the program. So, there are total of 9 punctuators in Java. Opening bracket, closing bracket, opening second bracket, closing second bracket, opening third bracket, closing third bracket, semicolon, comma, period. That's all about punctuators or separators. Now, we have literals. Literals are the different data items that have fixed values or constants or just values, like 1, 2, a, hello. Now, there are several types of literals. Integer literal or fixed point literal. Floating point literal. Boolean literal. Character literal. String literal. Null literal. First, integer literals. Integer literal or fixed point literal are used to represent integer numbers, both positive and negative, without any comma or point. For example, 1, 3545, 315, 15, etc. There are several types of integer literals too. Decimal literals. Octal literals. Hexadecimal literals. Firstly, we have decimal literals. Decimal integer literals are the literals which use digits from 0 to 9 to represent numbers. They need no symbol for their representation. For example, -51, -16, -5841, etc. Then, octal integer literals. Octal integer literals are the literals which use digits from 0 to 7 to represent numbers. They must be prefixed with 0. For example, 056, -046, 067, 010, etc. Then, hexadecimal integer literals. Hexadecimal integer literals are the literals which use digits from 0 to 9 and from A to F, representing digits from 10 to 15 to represent numbers. They must be prefixed with 0 or 0x. For example, 0x16, 0x4d4e, etc. Now, an important note. All these decimal, octal, hexadecimal, binary numbers are the part of a topic called number systems. There you learn to convert values from one to another form by simple mathematics. To know more about it, click on the I symbol in the top right corner. That's all with integer literals. Next we have floating point literals. So, floating point literals are used to represent fractional numbers, both positive and negative, without any comma and with a decimal point. Floating point literals can also be represented in exponential format to represent huge real literals or very very small real literals. Now on seeing examples like 0.001405e6 and 45.54e-84 you might be confused. As what is this e doing inside a number whereas it is a string? So, the answer to that is here in this number the e is representing exponent. Now in exponential format a number has two parts, mantissa and exponent. The mantissa is the number part of it and the exponent represents 10 to the power of a number. So, in case of 0.001405 times 10 to the power of 6 the mantissa is 0.001405 and exponent is e6. Here e6 means 10 raised to the power of 6. Thus 0.001405 times 10 to the power of 6 as a whole means 0.001405 multiplied by 10 raised to the power of 6 and similarly 45.45e-84 means 45.45 multiplied by 10 raised to the power of -84. That's all with floating point literals. Now we have Boolean literals. A Boolean literal is like a switch having two states on and off. The difference is just that in case of Boolean there are true and false instead of on and off. It is used to represent a condition. Here is another interesting thing. This is a quite common question. The literals true and false are literals as well as keywords of Java. Next we have character literals. A character literal is a literal used to represent a single character in Java. In Java it is represented by enclosing the character in single quotes. In Java they are represented by their Unicode. This can any character of Java character miss it. Now in characters we have a special thing. Escape sequence. So, there are some characters which cannot be seen but still has some effect on the output. Actually it is used to control how the data gets printed on the screen. These characters are termed as non-printable characters or escape sequences. Now if they are non-printable, how to represent them? Here is a list of escape sequences and their representation. If you have been following this video from the beginning, we have already learned about some of these while learning about white space. \b meaning backspace. \f. This is actually used to clear the screen. \n. This is used to go to the next line. \r. It means to return to the beginning of the current line without advancing downward. \t usually it is a combination of 7 spaces. But it may differ from platform to platform. \single quote. This is used to represent a single quote. \double quote. This is used to represent a double quote. \\. This is used to represent a box slash. \0n octal number, where n is the number. \xhn hexadecimal number, where n is the number. \uhn Unicode character represented through its hexadecimal code n. Next we have string literals. A string literal is a collection of characters enclosed within double quotes. For example, hello within double quotes. Now here is a question for you. If you just pause and think, we have learned to represent all the possible things we want to represent in Java. But we missed one thing. Can you guess what? And you don't need to know Java or programming to answer this question. Just pause this video and think the answer. It is a little tricky. So, to explain the answer, let me ask another question. What if you want to represent nothing? This might seem a little confusing, but try to understand. There may be a situation in which we might have to represent nothing. Always remember that something may be nothing. If you are familiar with sets in mathematics, then you must know that phi or null set or void set are the subset of any set. So, there may be a situation where you want to declare something as nothing. So, here in Java we have a literal called the null literal to represent nothing. It is practically used to make objects point at no memory low action. Don't need to worry about this now. You will get to know more of THs while learning about classes and objects. Here is another important thing to note down. The literal null is literal as well as keywords of Java. This brings us to the end of literals. Up next we lastly have operators. Operators are the special symbols used for performing various types of mathematical, logical, relational, etc. operations in Java. For example 5 plus 8. Here plus is the operator indication addition between 5 and 8. You will learn more about operators after learning about data types and variables. It is coming very soon. So, don't worry. This brings us to the end of this video. A lot has gone through your head in the past some time, so if you feel confused please watch the whole video or some parts in which you have any problem again and ask your doubts in the comments section. In the upcoming video we will learn about data types of Java. So please stay updated on this course and never miss a video, otherwise you will face confusions. If you have any doubt feel free to ask it in the comments sections, you will be surely answered within a day. Please subscribe to the channel for all updates on this course. If you have any problems with this course please write in the comments section. Like this video, and if you feel something is wrong feel free to write in the comments and dislike the video. Thank you for watching.